your troubles, are they what they seem? Look around you, then you may realize all the creatures all with their lies. And I might know of our future, but then you still control the past. Only you know if you'll be together. Only you know if we shall last. In the night I do, you still feel your pain. For the valor you waited never came. If you were able, would you go change the past? Amend a faux pas with one last chance. And I might know of our future, but then you still control the past. Only you know if you'll be together tonight. 'Cause every night I will save your life, and every night I will be with you. 'Cause every night I still lay awake and I dream of an absolution. 'Cause every night I will make it right, and every night I will come to you. But every night it just stays the same, and I dream of an absolution. In the night I do, you see what you dream. All your triumphs and all you'll ever be. Look around you, then you may realize happiness lies trapped in this.
All right. Hello, hello, and welcome. All right. Hello, hello, and welcome. How are you guys doing today? Hopefully, today I'm gonna be doing doing the lines from yesterday's Silver the Hedgehog sketch. Hope you guys are doing fine. Relax and all that. Originally, the plan was that I'm supposed to do finish off the Blaze sketch, but I don't know. I don't really know. I'm not feeling it, mostly because it has dynamic posing and camera shot, so it's like it's gonna take longer, and it's like I'm not feeling it. So for now, let's just ink the silver sketch. I'm not really sure if I want to do cross hatching for this, but we'll see. Let's try to do the inks first. After we establish that, we can do like the cross hatching. It's just gonna be like, okay. All right. I guess we could start. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. Starting now. Wait, hang on, hang on. Chat. No, chat box is on. Okay. Wait, what? Hang on. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what's wrong. Alright.
Military shooters have come and gone in droves over the last 2 decades, the genre long proving a tough area of the market to crack, and even tougher to maintain a semblance of success in. Thus, developers and publishers looking
Okay,
to
I
make
think
an
that's
impact
too big.
typically push gimmicks the likes of Battlefield and Call of Duty can't offer, be it Hayes' Nectar enhancements, the time manipulation device in Singularity, or the Hollywood-inspired firefights of Black. For EA Montreal's Army of Two, the fresh, new gimmick relied on something players were already well-versed in: cooperative gameplay. But where most shooters featuring co-op embedded two-player options on top of their single-player campaigns, Electronic Arts' Montreal team built Army of Two from the ground up with cooperative play in mind. This core design decision facilitated strategic two-person gameplay that forced duos to always think and act as such, regardless of the extraneous circumstances. The resulting experience came in the form of a refreshing third-person shooter. Its rough around the edges quality is counterbalanced by a world of great potential, which fueled EA Montreal's development of the 2010 sequel, The 40th Day.
General
Two confident
Kenobi.
installments saddled with middling reviews and appreciable
Hey,
sales
Samran.
figures could not
Welcome,
save Army of Two
welcome.
from corporate interference, though. And once the much-despised third entry, The Devil's Cartel, bombed critically and commercially in 2013, EA saw no reason to further invest in the struggling IP whose few redeeming qualities fell by the wayside amid a forced identity crisis. This is the rise and fall of Army of Two. A wealth of top-selling sports games predominantly fueled Electronic Arts' rise in the 1990s, several of them morphing into annualized series at the turn of the century. However, bigger
Well,
aspirations
yeah,
set the
thanks.
publisher on a path
No
towards bringing
worries,
more
no.
original IP to bear. During his decade-long tenure as Chief Creative Officer, William Bing Gordon led the charge for original content,
Bing.
helping foster the development of projects like rhythm game Boom Boom Rocket and Army of Two. The latter endeavor took shape courtesy of EA Montreal, the first studio EA built from the ground up after years of acquiring pre-existing teams. Founded in 2003, the Montreal-based development house attracted incredible talent from across the industry, hiring writers, directors, 3D animators, and more to crack the mold on the next seminal gaming release. A statement from senior producer Reed Schneider following Army of Two's May 2006 announcement revealed the cooperative-focused gameplay stemmed from advancements in technology finally allowing for intelligent AI characters. As such, Army of Two was poised to launch exclusively on then next-generation consoles. Expectations for its planned 2007 arrival on PS3 and Xbox 360 were set high out of the gate, with developers claiming the team's debut project would reinvent co-op. Gordon later expressed hopes of Army of Two gaining popularity comparable to the EA-owned Medal of Honor franchise. The publisher demonstrated these lofty ambitions in part during E3 2006, wherein Games Media received a behind-closed-doors look at Army of Two running on Xbox 360. While co-op between two players constituted the crux of the experience, the first E3 showing emphasized the viability of a lone user playing alongside what EA Montreal coined as partner AI. The demo shown to press reportedly featured an AI
Someone
complaining with a
player asked,
staggering
"Is
level
this
of
Krita
depth,
you're
capable
using?"
of acting
Yes,
upon
I
player
am
commands in
using
a fashion
Krita.
that truly accentuated Army of Two's much-touted two-person team strategies. Journalists described the
But it's not the latest one, by the way. I'm still using like one of the previous versions. I forgot which version I'm still using. 4.8, 4.9, I think. I'm not really like at the moment. I'm not. I don't know if I want to really upgrade at the moment because like every time I have to upgrade, I have to like check on the settings. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Like the reason why I use Krita is mainly because of the how I like the what's it called the settings, the tablet settings for the brushes. I really like that. So it's like so I can do like custom fluid brush fluidity. Like I can't really do that in Psy. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But it's like the thing about Psy 2, like Psy 2 brushes, it's like it's very I don't know how to describe it. Like there's fluidity, but it doesn't have. It's not the one I'm looking for. Like here, for example, here. See, like in Krita, you can make it like texture and stuff with the settings. Like if you go to configure, and it's like you go to no, not performance, tablet settings. You see here, you can make it all fluid with your tablet settings, and then if you go here, if you press this edit brush setting, you have even more options to like have textures and all that, and that's what I really did. And then there's like more settings here. Like you can do all sorts of stuff in here, and that's why I prefer inking and Krita. It feels so, I wouldn't say natural, but it feels better than if I were to use it in Psy. Have texture. I mean, you can still edit and have your own custom brushes in Psy, but it's not this. It doesn't have, again. It doesn't have that fluidity or like the custom settings that I want, because it's like, I'm sorry to say this, like Site 2 kind of has like very limited. It's also because I couldn't like I don't have access to CSP, Clip Studio Paint. I heard good things, but I don't have this. I really don't have the space and money for it at the moment. I heard a lot of good things though. Ba, 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 ba. No, not like that. Not like that. Oh my god. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Like I would really recommend anyone who wants to get like into Krita. I heard that it's like Krita is very good with like what's it called? Digital watercoloring and painting, but I haven't really tried it yet. Someone, Clara, also asked, "Have you tried Drawpile before?" Yeah, I did once. I tried Drawpile once. If I remember correctly, my first one was like my first one was when I participated in what's his name? What's the guy's name? The artist's name? Damn it! Hang on. Let me check. Let me check. Let me go to my FA for I think I submitted this like no, not there. No. Sketches, scraps, or whatever. No, not there, not there. No, hang on. I know I put it somewhere. I think I might have deleted it. Oh, no. Hang on. Let me check. I know I put it somewhere here. Ah, yeah. So yeah. It was when it was around March, near the end of March of 2020. It's like it was when Spike Muller and Black Bolt were having their draw pile at that time. So yeah, that was like my first draw pile. So yeah, I was kind of new to it. Draw pile was basically it's like it's I keep forgetting the name. Hang on, let me check. It's like that. I forgot the name of the name. It's like TeamSpeak mixed with that thing that people used to like do when they stream do art together. I forgot the name. It was like a long time ago. Very 2010. Ah, damn it. This frickin' close enough. Close enough.
Partner AI is reactionary too, dynamic to a point that it remembered ineffective commands and ignored similar orders later. It could apparently suggest alternative strategies as well, further ensuring the single-player option provided a competent substitute in lieu of real-world companions. Such early coverage set the bar high for Army of Two's supposed capabilities, and the Montreal studio spent the next year doing its best to measure up. Between E3 2006 and the trade show's 2007 event, the crew devised the MMO-inspired Agrimeter, a system that fully linked partners together, as well as opened the door for creative gameplay opportunities. In practice, each player built up their Agrimeter over time. Whoever filled the meter first gained a damage multiplier and began glowing red to draw enemy fire. The teammate without aggro simultaneously turned nigh on invisible, entering a state of stealth that made flanking foes and completing objectives far easier. According to Schneider's comments in a GameSpot interview, the Agrimeter offered a new way to play co-op in the shooter space. EA Montreal also used the 12 months between the game's first and final E3 showings to build various weapons and their respective upgrades. Simplifying co-op actions represented another key focus, resulting in the actions being mapped to as few buttons as possible. These efforts presented their fair share of challenges, of course, especially for the crew behind Partner AI, tasked with developing a
By the way,
computer-run
how are you,
system
man?
that didn't require
Fine,
babysitting and could execute all player
Been
functions.
trying to
Developing
be
co-op
more
controls
active.
proved equally exacting given the demands of gameplay from a player's perspective. As a result, level designers endeavored to
Like
introduce
I've been
mechanics
trying
slowly,
to
structuring the game in such a way that new skills emerged organically as users navigated the story.
procrastinate
It made the
less.
controls seem less complicated, in essence, inviting shooter novices,
Because I found
experts,
out
and
that
every skill level
hang
in
on,
between to drop in on a tactical adventure that
let me
would
stop
feel at
this
its
audio
most
first.
optimal with a buddy.
So basically, like I'm doing great. I've been trying to like be less and less procrastinating because like I found out if I procrastinate, I become more depressed, and then it's like doing nothing makes me much more depressed. So and then I also eat less when I'm not procrastinating. So it's good. It's good. I usually like eat 3, 4, or 5 or 6 times a day. Now I usually eat 1 or 2 times a day. So I'm trying to do that and then less sugar. Basically trying to I'm trying to improve my not only my health and life but also like scheduling days. The toughest one is the scheduling stuff. That's why it's like especially when streaming where it's like I have to prepare all this. Well, and sometimes, well, no, most of the time it doesn't work because it's like there's something's wrong with my PC at the moment. Mostly my cracked Windows, my parent Windows. Like just before this, like it was doing fine, and then when the waiting, like 10 minutes into the waiting thing, it freezes. But now it's okay. It's okay. At least once like now, yesterday I found out that I could actually continue the stream without it if my PC crashes or freezes, and then the stream stops. I know how to do that now. So basically, like, in order to like not let my stream stop when my PC crashes, what I do is I go to the YouTube stream thing where it's like you schedule that, and then so every time it turns off, or let's say uh, your internet connection cuts off, it keeps going, so it doesn't stop. So that's great. At least now that I figured that out. Just doing great. Just doing great. What about you, Samran? How you doing? So guys, we did it. We've reached 250,000 subscribers. Oh, my eyes. Well, no, my eye, one of them. What was that? Doing good, thanks. No worries, no worries. Hope everyone's doing fine today and the after. Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Samran. It's good to hear people are great as well. Everyone in the chat and outside the chat. Yeah, kinda. I was thinking of that, but the problem is that I usually stream, I usually stream on my Discord server if if I don't want to do if I don't want to do art streaming or any type of streaming on my YouTube or Picardo. Or maybe it's like, I don't know, something private. I don't know. We'll see. Like, it really depends. It really depends on the situation or what type of art. One of the main reasons I don't usually stream in my art in my Discord server or any other is because it's like it can get kind of slow at times, and for some reason I get disconnected. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, if you wanna do art stream in my Discord server, go ahead. Everyone's free to do so. Like, oh, the another reason why I stream on YouTube is so I could so I don't have to like record them, because it's like, they usually like have a lot of space. The streaming, the what's it called, most of the time, the app that I use for screen capping is called Microsoft Expression Encoder 4 Screen Capture. It's good, but the problem is I have to encode those, so I can't just like, oh, screen record and then just use those files and edit them. No, I can't do that. I have to like, it's not like in OBS or whatever I'm using right now. So yeah, it really depends on the situation. I used to until I figure out like, I'm thinking of doing it again just in case like, if just in case I don't feel like it. I don't feel like streaming on YouTube or Picardo. Oh, speaking of like streaming in Discord, like I usually like whenever I do streams, whether it be in my Discord server or like in Picardo, whatever, I usually like also do voice chats, but for some reason it's also like it keeps disconnecting me for some reason. It's so annoying. Fuck it, let's play that music. Hang on. Oh, another thing I don't like when streaming on YouTube is the copyright stuff, like especially the music that I play in the background. Hang on.
The feeling's running deep, ain't no time for sleep. A second to unwind, head up in the sky. I follow to the beat, it's just what my heart's demanding. Friends and laughing, hear me dancing in the flow. Yes, I feel it's my time. Watch me glow, living in the dream light, in the zone. Yeah, this world is all mine. Come see what you'll find, right? Going for it, I'm out, I'm rolling till the stars in the sky. Babe, I'm home in the city. I'm out, I'm rolling till the stars in the sky. Babe, I'm home. Say I might sail tonight. I'm home. Say right now I get it. Take my hand, come zone. Come on, catch a ride and we take it to places that we only dreamed. I think I'm home. This is my heaven, baby. Day and night in my zone. The feeling flows through me. Heaven's where we meet. Happy we're loving our lives. Things I wish to see seem to come to be. I see the truth, I'm honest. The moon is singing our song. See, we found what we're searching for, the love that we're holding. Another adventure unfolds. I've been dreaming about it, dreaming about it. Going for it, I'm out, I'm rolling till the stars in the sky. Babe, I'm home in the city. I'm out, I'm rolling till the stars in the sky. Babe, I'm home. Say I might nightlight, do you see what you dream? All your troubles, aren't they all what they seem? Look around you, then you may realize all the preachers are with their lies. And I might know of a future, but then you still control the past. Only you know if you'll be together. Only you know if we shall last. In the nightlight, do you still feel your pain? For the fighter you waited never came. If you were able, would you go change the past to metaphor with one last chance? And I might know of a future, but then you still control the past. Only you know if you'll be together tonight. 'Cause every night I will save your life, and every night I will be with you. 'Cause every night I still lay awake in my dream of an absolution. 'Cause every night I will make it right, and every night I will come to you. But every night it just stays the same in my dream of an absolution. Yeah, of an absolution. In the nightlight, do you see what you dream? All your triumph and all you'll ever be. Look around you, then you may realize happiness lies trapped in misery. And who knows, we're of a future. We can all try to change the past. Only you know if you'll be together tonight. 'Cause every night I will save your life, and every night I will be with you. 'Cause every night I still lie awake in my dream of an absolution. 'Cause every night I will make it right, and every night I will come to you. But every night it just stays the same in my dream of an absolution. Yeah, of an absolution. Of an absolution. Of an absolution. 'Cause every night I will save your life, and every night I will be with you. 'Cause every night I still lie awake in my dream of an absolution. 'Cause every night I will make it right, and every night I will come to you. But every night it just stays the same in my dream of an absolution. And you'll see what you'll be. Whoa. And you'll see all you can be. Whoa. Be with you.
И каждую ночь лежу без сна, не могу найти выход. И каждую ночь я смыкаю глаз и прошу лишь прощения.
Вечер ночи видишь мечты свои. Столько бедствий, как же от них уйти? А смотришь посмотришь, может быть, ты поймешь. Суть пророчеств, темная ложь. Хочу знать, как быть грядущей. Ты над прошлым берешь контроль. Лишь тебе знать, сойдемся ли вместе. Лишь тебе знать, пройдет ли боль. Чувствуешь боль свою, справедливость ты не нашел свою. Ты хотел бы прошлое изменить, чтобы бедствие устранить. Хочу знать, как быть грядущей. Ты над прошлым берешь контроль. Лишь тебе знать, сойдемся ли вместе мы вновь. Я каждую ночь буду жизнь спасать. Каждую ночь буду я с тобой. Ведь каждую ночь я лежу без сна и прошу только лишь прощения. Я каждую ночь не позволю лгать. И каждую ночь буду навещать. Но каждую ночь не смыкаю глаз и прошу только лишь прощения. Видишь мечты свои, до победы стремишься ты дойти. Осмотришься, может быть, ты поймешь. Без препятствий счастья не найдешь. Кто знает, что ждать в грядущем. Все мы можем судьбу менять. Лишь тебе знать, сойдемся ли вместе опять. Я каждую ночь буду жизнь спасать. И каждую ночь буду я с тобой. Ведь каждую ночь я лежу без сна и прошу только лишь прощения. Я каждую ночь не позволю лгать. И каждую ночь буду навещать. Но каждую ночь не смыкаю глаз и прошу только лишь прощения. Спасать. И каждую ночь буду я с тобой. Ведь каждую ночь я лежу без сна и прошу только лишь прощения. Я каждую ночь не позволю лгать. И каждую ночь буду навещать. Но каждую ночь не смыкаю глаз и прошу только лишь прощения. Ты смотри, можешь ты. Ты смотри, все сможешь ты. Ведь каждую ночь, и каждую ночь, я не знаю. Ты смотри,
over Xbox Live or PSN. Naturally, the studio's insistence on drafting the ultimate cooperative experience informed every mechanic and design decision. Motions like back-to-back were molded by this desire, positioning the two heroes together to perform synchronized circular combat attacks. Dual Snipe arose from this same school of thought, requiring partners to kill a single target in tandem on one person's say-so. The emphasis on the buddy system further included defensive maneuvers and healing. If one teammate fell during combat, the healthier of the two could pull their friend to safety, all while the injured laid down suppressing fire. Partners were additionally encouraged to uplift and diss one another, anchoring levity and lighthearted banter to an otherwise grim tale about contractor-based military operations. EA's Montreal development crew conceived Army of Two during the Iraq War, when the moral standings of private military companies, or PMCs, were being called into question. The leading men in Army of Two, Tyson Rios and Elliot Salem, served as operatives in the fictional Security and Strategy Corporation, a PMC much like the real and controversial Blackwater that inserted itself in political conflicts and profited from warfare. In-universe, Rios and Salem began as Army Rangers in the 1992 Somalia conflict. Upon seeing private military contractors equipped with better guns, the Rangers decided they too wanted a piece of the pie. Army of Two's main plot followed the pair in the late 2000s as they accepted high-risk contract work in America, China, and Iraq, a time period production coordinator Matt Turner said the studio preferred over well-worn settings like World War II. The volatility of the world at the time also attracted EA Montreal to current affairs, since stories derived from headline news were likely to interest players. However, Turner told media outlet Kikizo that while the temptation to broach political issues initially felt strong, the team strayed from the idea for the sake of making a fun game. Countries associated with real-world strife still furnish the title's play space, propelling the friction that pervaded Army of Two's narrative. Developers applied this line of thinking when approaching discussions of morality as well. Private military contractors Rios and Salem may have been, yet EA Montreal avoided writing its heroes as morally reprehensible. Turner argued the duo would always take the ethical route when faced with difficult decisions, even while walking the fine line that made them a pleasure to play. And despite Salem's rough upbringing and Rios' decorated military background, the two were depicted as morally aligned, per Montreal's decision to forego good cop, bad cop tropes. Army of Two's announcement came alongside the promise of a 2007 launch window, which EA later narrowed down to November of that year. Though production on the shooter wrapped in time for its scheduled release, the Montreal studio's displeasure with the late 2007 build culminated in EA extending development by a few months. The extra time went to fine-tuning the game, an attempt at building up the co-op title to its fullest potential. The results garnered a mixed response. Upon releasing on PS3 and Xbox 360 in March 2008, Army of Two received middling reviews at best. Stunning visuals and a wealth of customization options counted among the highlights of the experience. And as developers had previously admitted, co-op between two players was the ideal way to play, evidenced by the lackluster partner AI that had too often struggled to meet even the lowest expectations. Enemy AI regularly proved just as incompetent, leaving much to be desired in terms of challenging combat encounters. Critics and players agreed that regardless of the occasional hiccup, gameplay in Army of Two guaranteed the title stood out as a refreshing change of pace from standard military shooter fare. However, the truncated story campaign severely limited user enjoyment, a thought made all the more disappointing by the minimal replay value and meager 4-player versus mode. The region-locked restraints further limited the online suite, which came courtesy of Army of Two's peer-to-peer networking approach and parity concerns across territories with regards to the censoring of violence. EA Montreal later deployed the SSC Challenge and Veteran Map Packs as post-launch DLC, yet these offerings made little headway in keeping players invested long-term. Considered somewhat of a B-tier outing, Army of Two boasted a potpourri of clever ideas that didn't meld together all too well. It even struggled to find its footing in tone, haphazardly vacillating between serious and absurd. Still, the third-person shooter held promise that boded well for its inevitable sequel. Army of Two stopped short of reaching Medal of Honor's measure of success, as William Gordon anticipated prior to his 2008 departure from Electronic Arts. The Montreal team's debut sold appreciably, though, moving over 606,000 units in the United States alone within 1 month of release. It crossed the milestone of 2.5 million worldwide sales by late 2009. Despite the commercial triumphs, developers acknowledged the divisive response to Army of Two and spent the post-launch period quantifying, qualifying, and reacting to feedback in preparation for the sequel, The 40th Day. Production on The 40th Day began shortly after its predecessor shipped, evidenced by comments from EA Games president Frank Gibeau in October 2008, wherein he mentioned Army of Two among a list of sequels in the planning phases of development. For its part, EA Montreal sights were set squarely on expanding upon features that users enjoyed and addressing problem areas that received the most criticism. Creative director Alex Hutchinson identified organic co-op as one of the driving principles behind The 40th Day, telling GameSpot the idea spawned from critiques that Army of Two's co-op mechanics and set pieces felt too stop and go. To the chagrin of many, co-op moves like Tactical Shield and Back-to-Back were relegated to scripted events in the original game. The sequel's organic co-op thus denoted the abandonment of predetermined cooperative interactions in favor of a co-op playbook, whose gameplay offerings were always available for use. Producer Matt Turner described this all-new system as the most significant evolution from Army of Two to The 40th Day, given that such changes informed how users presented themselves in the in-game world. EA Montreal also designed enemy encounters to guarantee players could exploit this newfound freedom. However, some co-op moves remain better suited for specific situations. While no penalties were given to those who employed co-op skills at random, executing certain actions on appropriate occasions earned partners weapon or gun part rewards that were otherwise unavailable. Speaking with Co-Optimus months before release, Turner speculated reward functionality would resolve issues of replayability that beset the first Army of Two. The Montreal crew further refined cooperative mechanics by rethinking Army of Two's rudimentary partner AI for solo play. Companion AI in the original seemed little more than a lapdog, following orders to the best of its limited abilities when commanded. During production on The 40th Day, developers tried programming the computer-driven associate with some semblance of autonomy, separate from user directives by making it more aware of its surroundings. The partner AI knew when to enter cover as a result. Tagging enemies and offering co-op related suggestions constituted other additions to the AI character's wheelhouse. Turner told Co-Optimus the suggestions ensured solo players felt as though they had an active ally, a trustworthy companion capable of advising, yet never badgering. Even enemy NPCs garnered a wider array of skills, thereby positioning users against foes who manipulated the environment in the same manner as returning heroes Tyson Rios and Elliot Salem. The enemy AI's overhaul blossomed out of attempts to create synergy and symmetry between the 40th Day's opposing sides, which effectively altered conditions on the battlefield. If Rios or Salem shot an enemy and didn't finish the job in time, another foe could pull their fellow soldier to safety. EA Montreal hoped its efforts with AI enhancements would amplify the immersion, perhaps buttress the already tense experience with an extra layer of authenticity. Interestingly, the advent of a morality system raised the stakes further still. Army of Two ended on Rios and Salem establishing their own private military company, Trans World Operations. The 40th Day picked up a few years thereafter, with the self-employed contractors touching down in Shanghai, China for what should have been a routine operation. It instead turned chaotic as a catastrophe-stricken Shanghai collapsed in the wake of attacks from a mysterious invading force known as the 40th Day Initiative. EA Montreal's GM Alan Taskin called the city bigger than life, citing its growing prosperity as a reason for dropping the heroes into a Shanghai-set destruction scenario. The mayhem yielded a greater purpose in that it served as the catalyst for Alex Hutchinson's goal of crafting circumstances whereby Rios and Salem must escape the city together. Saving the world didn't rest at the narrative's nexus. Rather, it was about two people surviving impossible odds and collectively determining how best to push forward. Hence the introduction of moral dilemmas. Choices involving the lesser of two evils came as a product of the studio wanting to turn its audience into more active participants in the game world. Hostage rescues and other precarious situations thus forced difficult decisions on users who, if partnered with a friend, made said decisions as a team. Sometimes moral-based choices wore the ostensible simplicity of sparing or taking lives on their sleeves, a trite task in a third-person military shooter starring mercs for hire. But EA Montreal tried adding weight to these quandaries. which defined how Rios and Salem presented themselves. By design, the sequel lacked a branching plot, so those who ignored the morality system didn't suffer any consequences. Yet saving lives meant the duo carried themselves in a heroic light, whereas the constant barrage of poor choices drove a rift between them. And as far as the developers were concerned, co-op partners created the real drama when engaging in tension about what choices to make. The hope was that the 40th Day's morality system, though simple in its construction, would promote discussion amongst friends, and in so doing reinvigorate cooperative games with deeper than surface-level elements. Notably, this integration of a subtle virtue scale also helped EA Montreal address critiques against the original Army of Two's tonal issues. Hutchinson noted in a 2009 PC Invasion interview that American audiences didn't seem to bat an eye at what he termed the frat tone of the initial entry. On the contrary, Europeans made their disdain readily known. Finding the right tone for the 40th Day proved a balancing act that developers chose to leave in the hands of players by splitting the difference. The studio essentially made the quality of jokes contingent on playstyle. So those who shot hostages and constantly high-fived their partner mid-firefight, for example, bore witness to a cruder tone, whereas users exercising care and caution heard more low-key jokes. All in all, the tweaks and enhancements only went so far in truly improving upon the Army of Two formula. EA teased the Army of Two sequel in March 2009 on a webpage with source code signaling the return of the so-called definitive third-person co-op shooter. An official announcement for the 40th Day surfaced the following week. Its full release scheduled for late 2009 on the PS3, Xbox 360, and PSP. Marketing materials confirmed the aggro system's return, alongside tightened gunplay rivaling the upper echelon of third-person shooters, and drastically improved visual details for characters and environments. The team additionally touted new set pieces that kept players in control during action-packed events such as skyscrapers toppling over. Segments designed to convey the pressure of navigating chaotic situations in the absence of order. EA made sure to flaunt the region-free multiplayer as well, indicating the online suite would feel like less of an afterthought than its predecessor. For reasons unknown, the publisher delayed the sequel out of October 2009 to January 2010. Likely a shrewd move to avoid the fall and holiday rush that included Halo 3 ODST, Borderlands, and Left 4 Dead 2, all of which dominated in the cooperative multiplayer space. Having room to breathe in the usually dry January release window allowed the 40th Day to sell over 1 million units by the end of EA's fiscal year on March 31, 2010. But once again, Army of Two enjoyed a strong market performance in spite of lukewarm review scores. The general consensus suggested the 40th Day offered a slightly more polished experience, the disaster movie-like action and organic co-op movements doing much of the heavy lifting. Chemistry between the on-screen duo received plenty of praise too, further separating Army of Two from the competition since characters in the likes of Borderlands couldn't challenge each other to a game of rock, paper, scissors. Players also welcomed the customization enhancements, and most agreed the 40th Day outclassed the franchise's progenitor in terms of presentation. Unfortunately, the needle didn't move far enough in some respects. Playing with a friend still constituted the preferred way to join in on the Rios and Salem starring escapade, due in large part to the partner AI's unremitting instability. Enemy AI didn't improve much between games either, and the aggro system, while fun, remained as easily exploitable as ever. Add to that the graphical glitches, occasional choppy frame rate, and uninspired multiplayer, and the 40th Day ultimately amounted to a series of relatively incremental changes. The PSP build from developer BuzzMonkey Software fared far worse. Instead of a pared-down iteration of the console title, the port studio designed a new version of the 40th Day specifically for PSP as a top-down arcade game reminiscent of Mercs on Sega Genesis. Its simple controls and a unique art style showed promise ahead of release, yet the lackluster AI and brief stages came up short. The absence of camaraderie between the wisecracking leads as well as an overwhelming number of needless gameplay components all but guaranteed the portable Army of Two would rank among the most forgettable adventures in the PSP library. Yet no one could have predicted forgettable to become the adjective best used to describe the series' final outing. Some amongst EA Montreal leadership believed Army of Two as a brand would transcend gaming. Its concept an easy sell because of the to-the-point title and character-based premise. General Manager Alan Taskin thought the movie adaptation, which never left the conceptual phase, could potentially attract an even wider audience. Yet the nucleus of Army of Two's appeal shrank beneath the weight of organizational restructuring within the EA Games label that put Dead Space developer Visceral Games on a pedestal. Electronic Arts positioned the Montreal studio's co-op shooter under said pedestal, along with all of the publisher's other third-person action titles. Following Dead Space's trailblazing introduction in 2008, EA Redwood Shores rebranded as Visceral Games, a reward of sorts for breaking the mold with a new IP. The developer quickly garnered a reputation for high-caliber products, encouraging EA to emphasize the Dead Space group in its reorganization plan, which harbored two primary objectives: cost efficiency and increased game quality. Speaking to Gama Sutra in October 2010, EA General Manager Nick Earl revealed the publisher had adopted a new genre structure that split the games division into three verticals. One focused on MMOs, a second geared towards first-person titles, and the third driven by action and strategy. The company internally considered the action-centric branch synonymous with third-person games, and Dead Space represented the sector's blueprint, exemplifying the types of titles EA wanted out of its action-adventure category. A streamlined model served as the culmination of this restructuring, and since EA aimed to replicate Dead Space's success, the Visceral Games label expanded to include a globalized effort led by Earl. The Redwood City headquartered group thus began sharing resources with EA Los Angeles, EA Montreal, the Shanghai studio, and the newly formed Melbourne, Australia office. Between Army of Two's second and third installments, EA Montreal merged into Visceral Montreal, shedding much of the old talent for new blood and a fresh direction. Army of Two faithful would later discover the once quirky co-op shooter had lost its spirit in the process. Initial rumblings about the third Army of Two bubbled to the surface via postings on an EA job board in April 2011. The listings called for a senior producer and lead environment artist to join the Visceral Games team in Montreal, providing the public with its first hint that Army of Two was under new management. Inside sources speaking with Kotaku in December 2011 painted a clear, albeit grimmer, picture of the project's status. Sources claimed the game, allegedly titled Army of Four at the time, featured four-player co-op and ran on the Frostbite 2 engine that powered Battlefield 3. Oddly enough, because Army of Four's production was supposedly struggling to gain momentum, insiders assumed select Battlefield developers would join the Montreal label. EA never corroborated these reports, although the Army of Four name resurfaced months later when Stargate Atlantis alum Joe Flanagan posted a tweet celebrating his voiceover role in the new AO4 game for Electronic Arts. Flanagan, who did indeed appear in the Devil's Cartel as the voice of Salem, soon thereafter feigned confusion and retracted his statement. Still, his words gave credence to parts of Kotaku's 2011 report. Executive producer Julian Beek more or less filled in the blanks 2 years later on LinkedIn. In the January 2014 write-up, Beek divulged that he joined the Devil's Cartel late in development in order to deliver a struggling product in very little time. The producer described a situation in which low team morale had significantly affected development. He reversed the negative trajectory to an extent, yet such efforts only made a marginal impact. By Beek's estimation, Visceral Montreal's newly implemented high standard of proficiency entered the fold far too late, predictably resulting in an underwhelming production. Producer Zach Mumbach said Visceral accepted the Army of Two project because of its interest in cooperative gameplay. The producer subsequently moved to Montreal to see development through to completion, helping helm a team built from the ground up for the third title. At the outset, leadership predominantly filled the Devil's Cartel crew with series newcomers, then assigned them the Herculean task of soft rebooting and honoring a property whose history they took no part in establishing. Studios in California, Sweden, and China lent a hand as well, all working to build upon Army of Two's previously laid foundations. Visceral Montreal had no interest in treading old ground, however. In Game Informer's cover story on the Devil's Cartel, Mumbach characterized the previous two entries as good but not great, and argued that while high-fiving and quipping resonated with players, the Dead Space developer preferred producing games with a serious tenor. Army of Two's new home wanted to ensure it too adopted a similar tone by embracing mature themes. The pursuit of such a goal sidelined franchise protagonists Rios and Salem as secondary characters, who recruited their successors, Alpha and Bravo, for Tactical Worldwide Operations, the new name of the TWO private military company. These changes serviced Visceral's established brand of immersive narrative-driven adventures. In turn, the revamped TWO accepted higher profile contracts and positioned itself as an organization built around offering aid where needed. Visceral's commitment to player immersion additionally manifested in the exclusive use of codenames for Alpha and Bravo, allowing users to project themselves into the mercenaries. Gone were the days of Army of Two's perceived dude bro shooter status, though developers insisted their efforts weren't completely rebooting the series. Co-op remained integral, as did customization and a robust arsenal, but Visceral made a play at elevating the franchise beyond the levity and mindless fun. Well aware that people would assume EA attached the Dead Space Studios name to increase sales, Mumbach believed the difference in quality would speak for itself.
Alright, I'm back.
Army of Two's status quo most notably shifted through storytelling. Its pivot into maturity necessitating a serious subject matter ripped from the headlines that deployed Alpha and Bravo in Mexico amidst a drug war with the cartels. Visceral Montreal approached the project respectfully given the topical nature of the narrative, hoping to avoid stepping in the mess left behind by Techland's immensely controversial Call of Juarez, the cartel. The 2011 title drew ire from all sides. Critics lambasted its insensitivity towards minorities. Community leaders and government officials in Mexico accused the shooter of glorifying and trivializing violence, and residents on both sides of the border expressed fears about its influence on young, impressionable minds. In many respects, Techland's blunder provided Visceral developers with a frame of reference while crafting their own Mexican cartel-centric story. Julian Beek claimed the team viewed the critically panned Call of Juarez entry as Army of Two's anti-hero, telling IGN the decision for the Mexico locale didn't come lightly. The studio also labored to avoid the white savior trope, carefully navigating delicate issues that, if properly implemented, would engender empathy among players, even with a renewed focus on linearity that eschewed the moral choice options introduced in the 40th day. Due to the interactivity of video games, at least part of the Montreal Group's storytelling success depended on how effectively gameplay bridged the gap between moment-to-moment action and plot. Though the emphasis on co-op never wavered, gameplay became another aspect of the franchise to receive a Visceral patented makeover, complete with an overkill system that rendered both players unstoppable for a limited time when activated. The new mechanic encouraged collaboration above all else as team-based actions awarded more overkill points, and aggro returned sans a visual meter, but with a few choice enhancements, chief among them being the ability to hear its effects, thanks to sound design boosts made possible by Frostbite 2 technology. The DICE-created game engine additionally heightened destructibility, letting Alpha and Bravo wreak havoc by dismantling cover and dismembering enemy NPCs. Cinematics fully leveraged Frostbite 2's destructive capabilities as well, mostly evident in scenes that depicted explosive action from two separate points of view based on the location of the leading characters. Visual effects lead Marco D'Amico thought the sophistication of Frostbite provided the Devil's Cartel an edge over the competition, its future-proofed technology ostensibly supplying 7th-gen hardware with a taste of the next generation's power. In an unexpected turn of events, neither Visceral's efforts nor the Frostbite engine were harnessed for Army of Two's online suite. According to Julian Beek, the studio poured all of its resources into the campaign, foregoing competitive multiplayer so as not to dilute the experience by spreading the team too thin. No one considered past versus modes among the series' strong suits, therefore the lack of competitive online offerings mattered little in the grand scheme of things. The myriad other alterations to the brand's identity took a toll, though. Army of Two, the Devil's Cartel formally entered the spotlight in August 2012, a March 2013 release window attached for PS3 and Xbox 360. Following a months-long promotional campaign in which previews ranged from skeptical to generally favorable, the co-op shooter launched on schedule to tepid reception. Reviewers by and large deemed it forgettable, lacking any semblance of depth, and far removed from the irreverent charm that set its predecessor apart from comparable action titles. Co-op interactions like back-to-back were cast aside to pick up the pace, yet their absence fueled much of the criticism. Visceral's gameplay innovations similarly garnered minimal fanfare, thus failing to raise the bar as promised. But the key missing ingredients all revolved around the essence of the dude bro shooter EA so desperately wanted the property to abandon. The obnoxious banter, the clever but ill-timed comedic asides, The wisecracking and meat-headed protagonists each provided a piece to the messy whole that millions of players grew to love with Army of Two and The 40th Day. EA's greed for higher Metacritic scores and stronger sales ironically resulted in the Devil's Cartel not even debuting in the top 10 on the US sales charts for March 2013. As such, the Dead Spacification of Army of Two failed miserably. Yet another irony considering Dead Space's collapse also followed in the aftermath of its unforced identity crisis. Unfortunately, neither of Army of Two's creative teams received a chance to redeem the IP. Weeks before the release of the Devil's Cartel, reports circulated that EA had shuttered the Visceral Montreal office. While the publisher wouldn't confirm or deny as much, EA's Frank Gibeau noted in a statement that tough decisions, such as layoffs, only occurred when it was impossible to redeploy teams. Former staff quickly corroborated the layoff claims to Game Informer, revealing everyone in the studio lost their jobs after production on the co-op shooter wrapped. Army of Two, felled by an unnecessary soft reboot, crumbled under the weight of its publishers' unreasonable expectations. Sure, the series struggled to gain its footing early on. By the second entry, however, it stood on somewhat firmer ground, taking risks with the morality system to better balance Rios and Salem's facetiousness with a hint of gravitas. Evidently, no good came from dialing up the tone to 11 and stripping the property of its more unique qualities. There exists a bit of tragedy to Army of Two's fall, then, in that it did so unceremoniously, and without ever rising to its fullest potential. Thank you for watching. We'd like to take this time to thank, by name, the generous patrons who have pledged to our Hall of Fame reward tier: Fernando Lopez Ojeda, and those currently subscribed to our producer reward.
How's it going, everyone? Vanos Gaming here, bringing you more daily
Vanos
clickbait cancer. Why you subscribe to me? So it's been 2016 for just over a month. Just over 31 days. Not that long. And you already done fucked it up in the comment section. I am seeing cancerous comments everywhere, so I thought, why not do the original video of doing a video on YouTube comments, because no one's ever done that before. Play the montage of videos to prove my point.
Hey guys, it's Comedy Shorts Gamer!
Yay!
How are you going, guys?
I was gonna include Filthy Frank in the montage of YouTubers, but honestly I'm fucking terrified of what his fan base will do to me, so he's got temporary immunity. So what I'm gonna do to make things more interesting, I was recently on a stream with Vinesource Joel. We were just doing like random Pokemon drawings and shit. I'm gonna read the comments on his stream video that he uploaded onto YouTube, and then after that I'm just gonna move on to the general YouTube comments as a whole. So without further ado,
Let's do this, Cobbs.
I hate Pyro so much. Fuck's sake.
How could you collaborate with this living cancer? Oh my god.
Right, this insult is actually next level, so I'm gonna have to do some serious stalking here to find dirt on you. Okay, your YouTube channel seems normal enough, you know, no Minecraft Let's Plays in sight. Time to blow off some steam. After that shitty pun, we gotta check this out. Seems like a normal Steam profile, you know, nothing out of the ordinary. I'm 15 and wasted my entire life.
I'm a 15-year-old boy and I'm so oppressed, so I'm just gonna talk shit online. One person I love and one person I don't even care about. Which is which?
Who cares?
Is this real life?
Did I die from cringe and go to heaven?
No.
Ew, Five Nights at Freddy's. I hope Parasinical uses the avatar ironically.
Well, I gotta be honest, like, I don't really like Five Nights at Freddy's. I just wanna fuck Foxy really badly, so, you know.
Small loan of $1 million, army represent, woo!
My video isn't loading, damn it.
Ew, FNAF, stop.
Ew, Undertale.
Ew, fandoms.
Unwarranted self-loathing.
The memes strike that day, leaving no life back. Only death and pain.
Who's this fucker? Get him out of here!
One like, meet your crush. One comment, kiss your crush. One sub, bang your crush's brains out.
Kill yourself!
Right, I tell you what, let's go on this Leon kid's channel, because I've seen this kid spamming absolutely fucking everywhere, so I'm pretty sure if he hasn't disabled comments by this point, he's getting a shit ton of hate. You sound like you have a lot of... You sound like you have a lot of slime on your face, mouth, etc.
Finish, bitch. Go the fuck outside.
Please stop comment on videos. By the way, your
Touch
voice
grass.
is so annoying.
Like your comments, job fuck.
Ain't your channel, you fat fuck.
Dude, anime is for fucking anal-loving faggots, so fuck off, people dick.
I love anal, you pleb.
It's amazing how you just go into any YouTube comment section and there are people just fucking arguing about what time of fucking day it is and a bunch of other shit that no one cares about. Pretty much everyone knows at this point that the majority of YouTube comments are like 10-year-old white children that never leave the house, mate, like at all in their entire day. And they have this much hate boiled up inside them. They're just arguing about shit that no one else cares about. Fat Jew. Fat Jew, LeMayo. Fucking hell. Fat Jew, LeMayo.
Racist.
Right, let's read some of the comments on my own channel because, you know, that'll definitely go well. One like equals die a virgin. One sub equals die a slightly more pathetic virgin. Ignore equals being a rational human being. I fucking love my fan base. I absolutely love my fan base. You sarcastic piece of shit. I love you. Even better the second time around, Pyro. Now insert your big foxy dick. Ah, no. No. See guys, I walked out the room for a comedic moment in a video. Can I get a laugh, please? Leafy is here. 1 million subscriber countdown on Mr. Mowington channel.
Yeah.
I just gotta take a moment from the video to congratulate Leafy is queer. Congratulations, man. You actually had 1 million people accidentally click subscribe on your channel. It's quite an achievement. Honestly, what I think you should do to please your fans is do a YouTube login giveaway. Do a giveaway of your login and password to your fans, because you know that's a real good way to you should rig it and send the login to me. You know, I'm just putting my point out there. The Holocaust was good. Bush did 9/11. Hail Hitler. PewDiePie, the passive-aggressive pacifist. Never mind.
Who's watching this in November 1779?
So did you just give up on montage parodies?
He's been doing this for a while. You're very late with this.
On a side note, I'm still amazed that people actually comment, have you quit montage parodies? Because my last montage parody was actually over half a year ago. Fun fact number 23 that you don't give a shit about as well. That was the video where I actually found the Whitewoods Beach Walk song that I use in like the intro and the outro for my videos. Yeah, that one. Who else is one box here or under? Meh. What the fuck?
Hi.
First video watched.
It's time to stop!
Copyright filthy Franku.
I only threw up 5 times. XD trademark. Did you just trademark XD? Motherfucker!
1 like equal 1 prayer. Ignore equal 100 year of bad luck.
He commented this on a Filthy Frank video. The actual physical amount of bait.
I have severe attention-seeking disease. LOL.
Kill yourself! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
I want to rip out my spine with your oh man. Can we stop with the gay comments? I swear, all the comments I'm finding, at least 1/4 of them are just gay, male inside butthole penis gay. I really just don't understand the YouTube comments as a whole. Like, people disable comments on their videos, and originally when I saw that, like for example, PewDiePie disabled comments on his videos for quite a while. I remember reading the article and I was like, PewDiePie, what a little bitch, am I right guys? But after reading the comments on a lot of videos, 90% of all YouTube comments are just absolute cancer. Like, imagine a tumour, and imagine that tumour shitting out another tumour that's 100 times worse than the other tumour, and then it shits out another tumour just for fun. That is the YouTube comment system. Even YouTube itself, YouTube employees, they're just sitting there and they're like, holy shit, our community's cancer, but we're getting money, so it doesn't matter. I feel sorry for people that genuinely share their thoughts and feelings on YouTube, because whenever I read YouTube comments, it's just this mad dash of like, whoever can type the wittiest thing to get top rated comment. Like, no one leaves any positive feedback. No one even No one even fucking properly insults anymore. They won't just tell you to kill yourself. They gotta be all witty and shit about it to get more likes. It's amazing.
Back in my day, you could just tell a boy to kill himself online. Now you've got to tell him to get quick scope, my nigga.
Whenever I comment on someone else's video to say, you know, like, nice job or something like that, literally half the comments are people saying,
You faggot, why are you self-promoting? Kill yourself, go die in the fire.
like, guys, I'm sorry for commenting on someone else's YouTube video. I'm incredibly sorry. Like, the all 2 subscribers I'll get if I get top rated comment definitely means I'm self-promoting. I feel that the YouTube comments are basically some kind of war-torn Middle Eastern country, and you need the right passports and documentation to comment or like certain channels. If you don't have the right documentation, you'll be harassed by all the locals with their pitchforks and fires. In a way, the YouTube comment system is really therapeutic, because if you're in too much of a good mood and feel like you need to punish yourself, just whip open the YouTube comments and have a read, and your self-esteem will be destroyed pretty much instantly. So I hope you will join this little adventure where we basically read YouTube comments together, and I hope that you've realised how shit we are as a species. Comment down below anything you want me to talk about next, and let's go for a like goal today, guys. 1 like, and I will send you this man in the mail. This man to love you and cuddle you at night. The pizza's sold separately. Hey guys, welcome to my...
Oh shiz. I forgot that was the White Woods beach song. Oh my god. Oh no, copyright. YouTube's gonna copyright this. Fuck. This is why I shouldn't be playing like audio pyrocynical. What's a good song or audio I could play right now without getting copyrighted? Hang on. Oh, this is epic. Oh my god.
look out, got the roughness, got them both. Look out, got the roughness, got them both.
Alright, sorry. Sorry about that. My PC just crashed in.
In my thoughts and in my dreams, they're always in my mind. These songs of love, it's dwarfs and men, and elves. Come close your eyes, you can see them too.
Hello and welcome back to Counter Monkey. I initially started this review on one of my biggest pet peeves as a dungeon master, and that is really hard to read dice. That's one of my biggest problems was when you got players gathered around a table, everyone brings their own dice. And so you've always got these players at the far end of the table, and they would bring these dice. And you got these dice all the way over here. Now imagine that you're over there, and I roll this die, and now I go 17. And you gotta like you're reading this die over here, and yeah, you just gotta take my word for it. No, I'm not accusing you of cheating, but you'd like to be able to see over here like what you rolled at a glance, you know. So it's just a matter of convenience, right? And you know, people would like just to know, everyone's curious. Whenever anyone makes a roll, everyone kind of looks over and they want to see, right? So, and actually, sometimes it's a real problem for the person making the roll to read their own dice. So, it really is a problem sometimes for that person. So, I'm going to get into that, but then I realized, I've got all these crazy dice here. And over the years, I've acquired a special set of skills and a very special set of dice. And trust me, if you've been role-playing for a long time, this is pretty much all the dice I have, and I've gotten rid of a lot of them. But, if you're a major role player, if you know, like, a really serious role player, this isn't shit. This is nothing. And I know people who bring all their dice with them, and this is nothing. This is the only dice I bring around with me. This is maybe like I don't know, like maybe 30 dice, and this is my dice bag. It's changed over the years, but this is the dice bag I've used for probably 10 years. This is the dice bag that real gamers use. This is the dice bag for OGs, right here. This is a Crown Royal bag. This is the shit. Okay, some people use like chainmail dice bags, or some people go to like game stores and they get like these velvet dice bags and stuff like that. I never like those. I hate the way like that velvet feels. I never like that. No, this is the stuff right here, and it just feels right. Something about this. And I'll show you what my dice bag looks like in a second, but yeah, I'm going to show you those really hard to read dice. I've actually got a set of the ones that piss me off most. So let me cut to a kind of a close-up of the dice that make me the maddest. And then I found some sets online that are really new, actually, that I would kill you if you brought these dice to my table. I would reach over the table and kill you dead if you brought these. So let me show you those dice, and I will actually give you kind of an introduction to what kind of dice are used in games, and some of the dice I didn't even know. I found these dice just kind of shopping around. I don't even know what some of these dice are for. So I'm going to be exploring with some of you, and you got to tell me in some cases what these are for. And some of these dice are actually, I found, really useful. I found some that I'm going to use. And I even made up some uses for some of these. So hey, let's dive into some of these dice, man. I'm excited. All right, this is my dice bag, my bag of weapons. Okay, so I'm gonna dump these out. You finally get to see the dice I use when I roleplay. So right away, you're gonna notice that my dice are all really fucking ugly. There's a reason for that, and I gave this speech at Con Bravo, which was a convention in Canada. So you'll excuse me if I give it again. So some of you didn't hear this one. The reason they're ugly is because there's a special company that makes them. They're called Game Science, and they have sharp edges, the same reason that casino dice have sharp edges, and that's to ensure that they are fair, or more fair than most other dice that you would buy in like a game store. So most dice are not, strictly speaking, as fair. So like the normal dice you would buy have more rounded edges because they put them in a rock tumbler to make them smoother. This makes them less balanced, strictly speaking, because they don't tumble evenly. So you're more likely to get, percentage speaking, on a very slim scale, you know, they tend to favor one side more than the other, very, very, very infinitesimally. And it does, you know, it really doesn't matter on a grand scale, but that's the reason you tend to get quote-unquote lucky dice. You know, sometimes over the long course of things, sometimes they tend to favor one side more than the other, you know, over time. So that's why you might tend to get lucky dice. And strangely enough, this is one of the more old school dice. You know, some in the older cases they had these, you know, way back in the day, the D&D dice were made of this really, really soft plastic, and you had to ink the numbers in yourself. Actually, some game science dice you still do. Like you have the option of inking them in yourself, but you know you can get them shipped with ink. But these dice, the really, really old school dice, were made of this really soft plastic. And my older brother had these as well, and he played D&D so much that the dice themselves, the corners would really easily wear down. And you know, these weren't made like casino dice. You know, these weren't, you know, exactly like really, really science precision dice. But you know, these dice oftentimes would be played so much. You couldn't get these dice, you know. They weren't really widely available. You didn't really have these game stores all over the place. You couldn't go online. These were really kind of, you know, arcane dice, pardon the partial pun there. So these dice would wear down into like balls. You know, they would kind of become rounded down. So you really would have these dice that oftentimes would kind of become loaded dice to a degree and become almost trick dice. So this die in particular is kind of an antique, and it's still in pretty good shape. So I kind of use this when I'm feeling retro. So yeah, a lot of these dice are game science dice. This is 100-sided dice, and I never use this. I keep this. This die is useless. It's actually kind of hard to see, and I don't know if the autofocus is picking this up. It's actually really hard to see in real life. Actually, you'll notice there's numbers all over it, you know, and as it would be, it looks like the fucking Death Star, but with 100 numbers on it, and it's ridiculous. It really is like a golf ball, you know, and so when you roll it, this is one of those dice it's just maddening. Even when you're rolling it, the person rolling it can't tell what you just rolled. You know, so like when you roll it, you roll this thing and it settles on a number, and then you have to look, you have to get over it, and then you look straight down at it, and you're like 4, I think. Yeah, I think it's 4. So it's one of those dice that you're the person rolling it, and it takes you 10 seconds to figure out what the fuck you rolled. So, you know, okay, so now the question is, why would you need to roll 100-sided dice? If, you know, I'm going to tell you what you would need to, because some of you may not know what you need to roll a 100-sided die for. You know, for percentages. So, like, if the DM tells you, like, I want to jump across this canyon or something like that, the DM says, well, you have a 25% chance to do that. That's why you need to roll 100-sided dice. So you would roll this, for instance, and if you rolled under 25, that's a 25% chance you made it. So how would you do that? Normally, you wouldn't use this fucking thing, because one, there's no chance that this is a fair die. Because this is fucking... what the fuck? And so I just keep this because it's ridiculous. It is campy. It's funny to me. The real way you do it is you roll 2 10-sided dice. These are 10s. And damn this autofocus. Should have thought this through. So one of these has like a tens digit, and one of these has just a singles digit, and so you roll them both, on camera preferably. And so, you know, this is a 30 and this is an 8. So you rolled a 38, and that's over 25, so I would fail, for instance. So there's that. This is a 4-sided die. It has a little pyramid. In this case, the number on the bottom is the number that you rolled, so this would be a 2. In some cases, the number on top would be the number that you rolled. Let me see if I can find one like that. Number on top. I'm only finding the ugly examples. Come on. 4s. Where are there no 4s? Ah, fuck it. Sometimes there's ones on top. There's probably one in here that I'm not finding. I got a gift set in here, and I should actually not be keeping these along with the others, because these are actually kind of semi-precious. These are dice that are made of jade. These are actually kind of valuable. They are valuable. So these are actually really cool. They're almost like in Spinal Tap. They're like no, they can't be played. I don't think I should be rolling these, because they might get damaged. I don't know. I think they're decorative dice only. I think they're more dice to be meditated upon. They're very cool though. So I'm very grateful for these. Yeah, I don't know if I should be using these. I have not actually used them though, but I don't think I should be associating these with the common dice. If I ever play Legend of the Five Rings, though, the jade dice will be used. I will use them very gently in a felt tray, you know. So there's that. I have a lot of different game science dice. I have several different sets. There's like little translucent sapphire sets. I have a lot of. Actually, I think the game science people call them ugly dice themselves. So there's the green set. There's the angry orange set. So stuff like that. Here's a weird one. I don't know when I will ever use it. This is a 5-sided dice. So you're going to see a lot of very strange dice as we go along. And no, I have no clue when I would ever use this. But I'm sure there are games that would use this. And as a DM, you could... Actually, I can right now. There are times when... you do half damage. For instance, like if you do a D10 damage, you can save for half. So if there's ever a trap or a spell that does D10 and you save for half damage, you could just roll this. I guess that makes sense. Although sometimes you roll down. I don't know. So here's another one that's kind of funny. This is called a bone dice. I guess that's just the brand. It's a 6-sided die. It's kind of shaped funny. So I think it's like a knuckle bone die. I just kind of keep this around. I think I had more. I used to have 4. I just rolled it in the corner pocket. So yeah, those are my dice. I'm gonna put these over to the side here, and now we're gonna go to some of the other dice. Actually, I'm gonna show you some of the ugly dice, the dice that I personally hate. So I'm gonna go to actually the prototypical dice that I basically chewed a guy out for using. I was like, never bring these dice to my table again. These are them. Look at these dice. This is from, like, if you're the one rolling them. Read you can't. You can't read these dice. Eey. These are black and like white speckled dice. They're like marble dice, okay, with red lettering. Fuck these dice. Here, I'm gonna zoom in and like, look at it. Look at the fucking. These are impossible. And this is the 20-sided die. This is the one you're gonna read all the fucking time. Oh, this is the D4 with the number on top. All right. So like, you read this fucking die, right here. Good luck with that. Now try being like on the other side of the table and reading that. God damn it. So like, this fucking die, and God, I hated this set. If you were more than like a few feet away, never mind. And so I was looking online for more dice like this that would just infuriate me. And there was this one. So you'll pardon me if I can't find my light here, so to speak. There's this one, which is black with gold numbering. I know there was a lot of dice like this that were made by it's called Chessex, and the numbers have faded just a little bit, but God, this good fuck, I hate that one. There was this set that a lot of these were made by I noticed were made by Q Workshop. These are a little better than most, but like gold numbers on pink. Yeah, no thanks. Now some of these are gonna get really bad. These, I actually kind of like the color scheme, but like I don't know why they chose silver numbers that just blend in with the vomit yellow. I think they're called like toxic dice. You know what I mean? Like they're horrible. I mean, you can read them now, but then I pull out right here. No, this isn't happening. You know? It's my God. And then there's this one. You don't even know what kind of die that is, do you? Like, I'm gonna go back to this one, but that's a 3-sided die. There's no chance. You are so fucked trying to read this die, even if you're the one rolling it. No. Here comes the worst ones. I had no idea dice could get this bad. Actually, no. Here's the second worst ones. Here we go. I hate clear dice. They don't even. These aren't even the worst ones. But clear dice. Fuck these. No. Now, some people complain that there's clear dice with clear numbers. They don't get the point. You're supposed to fill those numbers in. But even then, these are impossible. You know, like this is a 20-sided die. What did I just roll? You don't. Fuck. I can't even. That's a 2. I don't. Fuck. Don't ever bring these. Don't fucking. Don't. Now comes the worst ones. I will fucking kill you if you ever bring these. Look at this. Look at this shit. This is Z Workshop. No. No. Fuck you. Fuck you in the ear. This gets worse. Look at it. Fuck you. I think this is either like Elven or like fucking Call of Cthulhu dice. I can't remember. Fuck the elves and fuck Cthulhu. Cause like, you're gonna go into like a fucking insanity. You're gonna lose D20.
Apa? Ntar deh, siapa? Aku sibuk. Ah, there it is. Alright, I think that's about it for this one. I'll do his power effect later. For at the moment, I'm not really too sure. So like I'll be continuing this later, along with this cross catch. In the meantime, I'll try to find any mistakes for this. So. My mic is almost running out of battery, so I'm gonna stop it here. I'm gonna finish this at the stream now. So thanks to those who joined my art stream again. Thank you very much appreciated. I'll see you guys next time. Farewell, and thank you very much.